Thanks so much, Nicole. I am joined today by Tony Kayumi, the Director of the Office of Community and Economic Development. My name is Pam Smith. I'm the Human Services Division Administrator, and Nicole Kennedy is also with us. She is the Policy Specialist for us and will be answering your questions and will be your technical support throughout the RFP process. So thank you so much for being here. We're going to go through and just talk to you about the new Human Services Partnership Mini Grant RFP. Slide, please, Nicole. To save time today on introductions, because we expected so many people, if you would just put your name and your agency into the chat, we would appreciate that. We're going to go over the background, the eligibility, submission requirements. We're going to review the process and the rubric, what the grantee expectations are, and then next steps and questions. As we go through today, if you have a question, please put it into the chat and we'll answer all of the questions at the end of this presentation. Hannah Lane is our director or our communications specialist. She'll be monitoring the chat, but just to get through the slides and to keep us all on time, we'll do questions at the end. So the new Human Services Partnership is funded by the Board of Commissioners of Washtenaw County. The aim is to address racism, poverty, and trauma as root causes of inequity. We're offering multiple funding sources with different focuses. We have community members that review all of your grant applications after a training. We incorporate an equity evaluation in the grant selection process. We're increasing accessibility by simplifying the application, hopefully you all think it's simple, creating avenues for new or growing organizations to receive funding. And we are trying to make sure that the funding and programming is flexible so that we can react to emerging needs in the community. So many of you may remember the Human Services Partnership was created off of 3 separate grant opportunities, all funded by the Board of Commissioners. 5-year safety net grants. Those grants were awarded in the spring of 2022. 1-year mini grants. That RFP will be open this Sunday. And then 5-year high impact grants were awarded in the fall of 2022. And if you want to be reminded of who those recipients were from 2022, you can visit our website where the full list of grantees is available. So the mini grant round for this year, 2025, the grants are $40,000. They're available to human service organizations within Washtenaw County. There's $320,000 total funding available, so that will be 8 grants that are awarded. We're focused on providing funding to organizations who are addressing poverty, racism, and trauma as a root cause of institutional inequity in Washtenaw County. And we have a goal of allocating 60% or more of the funding to organizations led by individuals with underrepresented identities. So these submission requirements, the RFP will be open Sunday, January 26th. Submissions will be due February 20th. And of course, you can always send them in early if you'd like. No need to wait. Recipients of the previous mini grant cycle, so 2024, are not eligible to reapply for this grant cycle. So if you received an award in 2024, you cannot apply for a grant in 2025. Once you submitted the application, you'll save the PDF. This will all be included in the grant packet that you'll have access to on Sunday, January 26th. Make sure that they're signed and make sure they're in on time. We will not accept any applications, grant applications after the closing date. So these are some of the things that you'll need. So in the interim before the opening on Sunday, if you want to gather some of these items, you'll just be that much more ahead. I'm not going to read all of them. They will be included in the packet, but you do have to be a 501c3, just so you know. And then I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Nicole just to like walk you through. We're not going to read each narrative question to you, but we wanted you to see what you should be expecting in January, on January 26th. And these will be the actual categories. Nicole?
Sure. If you've ever applied for an RFP at Washtenaw County, they're all located on one central location, washtenaw.org/open bids. For this particular RFP, it is numbered 8749. Um, that is the important number. That is what you want to apply for. Um, you'll want to, in the first section, you'll be able to fill in the service and program description. Uh, this is where you're going to really make it clear how your mini grant is going to address the root causes of poverty, racism, and trauma, which is the goal of these mini grants. The next section, program management, you will just be entering in um, your staffing structure, who you're providing services for. We're looking for um, organizations that may have underserved populations, both in their administrative organization and those that they are serving. Next. Positive impacts of your program. Describe the benefit of the program you are trying to fund, and describe what the positive impacts will be if you should receive these funds. Program participants, who is your target audience? How are you going to prioritize people with higher needs and historically marginalized identities, in our county area? Root cause analysis, describe, or the goal of our mini grant program is to address one or more root causes of institutional inequity in Washtenaw County, which are trauma, poverty, and systemic racism. You'll see those terms kind of sprinkled throughout the entire RFP because that is what we are trying to focus on here. Agency-wide approach, describe how your organization has already addressed root causes of institutional inequity. Agency strengths, describe qualities that make your agency stand out. How are you unique to provide services that address the goals of this particular mini grant, your values, or anything else that you can list as a strength of your group. Areas of growth. Describe areas of growth your agency wants to focus on, steps, actual physical steps that you can take to make progress in these areas that you want to grow. And previous funding and budgeting information. Has your agency ever been funded previously by Washtenaw County funders, City of Ann Arbor, Washtenaw County, or Washtenaw Urban County for programs and services similar to this? Describe any previous funding that may be related. As stated earlier, if you have already received the mini grant last year, you're ineligible for this round of mini grants. And then some of the final sections on the RFP that you'll find on the Washtenaw website are templates of what we would look for in your budget so that we can see where that money would be going, be spent and distributed. Annual revenue, if you get other funding from other sources, just list that on here. Let us know kind of how it all combines together. Uh, Finally, there'll be the link for RFP 8749 that will take you to the fillable RFP on the Washtenaw County website. You can download it and fill it out, or you can fill it out in the browser. If you need any help figuring those things out, I can be available to assist, as can Pam. And that's about it. I really look forward to seeing the different types of um, organizations and where where we can help our community.
Can we ask some questions?
Yeah, we're going to do questions at the end. We just wanted to show you what the process and the rubric would look like. So there's the next slide. So let us get final few slides and happy to take questions. You can also put questions in the chat. So in an effort to be transparent and so agencies understand what they'll be getting reviewed on as far as our community volunteers, these are some of the things that our review team will be looking at. So it mirrors what we're asking for in the categories for your descriptions, but here's how they look. So an agency overview. You could get 5 points if you provide a comprehensive description of the applicant's agency and mission and vision, which clearly articulates core programming and services, all the way down to 0 points if you fail to share your agency's description or mission or mission and vision is missing. And then it goes all the way through on each one. So you can see where you're going to score the most points. Like services, program, and description. So you would have maximum points of 15 if you have been strongly and clearly articulate what essential programming includes and why you're asking for the dollars. Next slide. All of this will be available to you as well on the website when you download the RFP, so you know exactly what the reviewers are looking for. Program management. Positive impact of program. And for anyone furiously writing or trying to take photos, this PowerPoint will be available to you as well. So next slide.
Sorry, this is the next slide.
Oh, thank you. Program management and positive impact of program. Go ahead. Thank you. Root cause analysis, agency-wide and agency strengths. Again, in each one of these categories, you'll be told exactly how you can get the maximum points and all the way down to not getting any points if you fail to answer the question. And something that we always, in all my years of experience with grants, it's like the plainer you can make things for the reviewers, the better. If they ask you, for instance, what color is the sky? Don't write the grass is green. They want to know just the answer. And the more direct you can be, the better. Next slide. And so there you're going to be looking at the budget and the agency areas of growth. And these are the next steps. So just to remind you, on Sunday, January 26th, the RFP will be released on our website. Friday, February 7th, all questions received. So what this means is if questions are coming up and Nicole is getting them directly, or you're writing us in on emails or phone calls, we track all of those questions because there's a good chance if you're thinking of a question, somebody else is too. So we take all of the questions and we do an FAQ sheet. And that FAQ sheet will be available on Tuesday, February 11th. So look for that on our website. It's a great place to start as far as if you have questions, those will be posted, every one that we get in. Thursday, February 20th, proposals are due by 4 p.m. Please note the time. Applications cannot be accepted after 4 p.m. on February 20th. Typically, every grant application round, someone says their internet went down, their board member didn't approve it, there are lots of different reasons they're asking to be extended. We cannot extend it. So please start early so that you don't run in to this deadline of 4 p.m. Then we have a 2-week time where our community review team, it's about a dozen reviewers, will review these applications and make recommendations. It's important to note that that is a recommendation. That is not a final grant award. So grant awards aren't finalized until they go to the Board of Commissioners. They also have to go, once they go to the Board of Commissioners, and the recommendations are finalized, then the contract process starts. So this can take, it depends on how quickly agencies get information back to us, but it can take up to 60 days. So the latest that you will see this money is July 1st. So if everybody gets everything in on time for the contracts, then the money turns around faster. But just so you know, this is not going to be made available March 13th to you. So you can plan ahead and include it in your budgets. So we're happy to take questions right now. And it says, one of the questions in the chat is, if we received the mini grant last year, will we be able to reapply next year? Yes, not in 2025. If you received a 2024 grant, you cannot reapply until 2026. These are small amounts of money, and we wanted to make sure that lots of nonprofits had the opportunity to access these funds. And so that is the reason we're not doing year-to-year funding.
I'd also want to add that in addition to the Board of Commissioners, it also has to go to the City of Ann Arbor for their City Council people to also approve, as this is jointly funded by Washtenaw County and the City of Ann Arbor.
Somebody earlier said they might have a question. Who was that?
Yeah, hi, Dennis Burke. Am I on audio? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, a couple things. I see your slides refer to quote unquote agencies. I'm the chair of the Rotary Club of Ann Arbor's Environmental Action Group. And we've been talking to several local other nonprofit organizations such as Habitat for Humanity and Friends in Need. And we're trying to get together a collaborative effort to do a energy reduction and environmental project for needy homeowner family and or senior family. And so our plan would be to use this $40,000 grant money to work with like Habitat of Humanity, University of Michigan C School, Friends in Need, and choose a needy family in the community that can't afford to pay their utility bills. And we come in and maybe work with A20 folks as well, do the energy assessment, do the weatherization, do the appliance changes, maybe geothermal, whatever we can crash into the 40 grand to do so that they end up with very low utility or no utility bills. So that's kind of the outline of the thought. So obviously a Rotary Club Environmental Action Group would be overseeing the project. And this funding would go 100% into the project. So we wouldn't be spending any money on ourselves. So I kind of question is, have you ever done anything with the Rotary, or we're not quote an agency per se?
Tony, do you want to take that, since I have not previously done a funding round with county?
And I have been with OCED for about 15 months now. During my time period at OCED, no, we have not, but I don't know the long-term history before my time as director.
So
Okay.
does Rotary carry 501c3 status, Dennis?
Does Rotary what?
Does Rotary carry a 501c3 status?
Oh, yes, ma'am. We are definitely 100% nonprofit. And we do have our own grant program that we run every year, mostly driven towards children. And we offer small grants to various nonprofit charitable organizations in the area and scholarship programs. But this is something new. Rotary International has started to get very heavily involved in climate action and environmental sustainability, and the local chapter is too. And we're thinking we'd like to do something like this to significantly help a needy family and or senior or both.
So I'm happy to talk with you more offline specifically about your collaborations are certain. They would probably become stronger, and we would ask applicants to think about what services are already available, so that I can guarantee Scores would probably be higher in non-duplicative programs.
Yeah, okay. I don't think anybody else is doing this, so yeah.
The OCED has a weatherization program that we already fund, but I can talk to you offline to save everyone else the time.
Yeah, we would be going way beyond that in order to get renewable energy and things in, which you guys don't do. You'll do a new gas furnace, but you won't do a. Yeah. Okay, thanks.
So clarify that organizations that are not yet 501(c)(3)s, however, if they have a fiduciary agency that is working with them, that they have been able to apply in the past with that fiduciary agent, that's also written in the template itself.
Okay, I'll take a look. Thanks, ladies. Appreciate the time and efforts.
Hannah, is there anyone else with their hand up?
Not that I see, but we got two more questions in the chat. One is priority given to rural areas or certain zip codes?
The review panel will be looking at the entire county, and we always strive to hit all of the different areas of the county.
And then one more question we got is if we are already a recipient of a contract for service not via the mini grant RFP, are we still eligible?
Yes, if you haven't received a mini grant in 2024, you are eligible for this round.
Great. Another question is, do I need to write my name and the different organizations sorry. This question is someone is representing multiple organizations and they're asking if all of the organizations need to be represented in the chat.
They would choose a lead agency for the application, and then the other ones would be listed within the RFP. So there will have to be a lead agency.
That it's actually, hi, I asked that question in the chat. I actually was asking, I write grants for multiple organizations. So there are multiple organizations that are interested in applying for this. So I'd be writing separate applications for different people. But because this was a mandatory event, I was curious if I need to just record the names of the organizations that I would be writing for.
Yes, organizations have to attend. So this meeting. So if you are the official representative of 3 different agencies, those agencies have to be included in the chat today.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Another question is, this funding opportunity is listed as mini grants. If awarded, are these awards actually service contracts?
If Anne could come offline and explain what she means exactly by that. You are under contract with the county to deliver the service that you said you are going to provide.
Okay, thank you. That answers my question because you said earlier that it's a mini grant, but when awarded, it'll be a service contract. At least that's what I understood. So I wanted to make sure that there wasn't a conflict with an existing service contract. But if you apply as a mini grant, then an existing contract doesn't necessarily make you ineligible.
Jan asked the question, how do collaborations apply? I don't think I understand, but maybe you know.
Together and talk about the program that they want to present for the possible opportunity, and then one agency would submit on behalf of the group.
Someone asked, is there a cap for staffing or admin fees?
Typically, we try to stay below 15%. If you make your case for something else, we're happy to listen to it. For instance, if you're providing a program that is based solely on a one-on-one service, then obviously staffing is going to be covered under program costs.
And then someone asked if they could see their feedback from last year's RFP process.
Reach out to me personally. I'm happy to talk specifically about one application with the agency that's inquiring. Did we hit the very last slide? I don't think so. There was one slide after questions that just gave both Nicole and mine's email, and then just how much we appreciate working with our community partners. So thank you. If there's no other questions or hands up, then we're going to give you some time back on your calendar. But know that Nicole and I are both happy to answer any questions that you might have, and we look forward to working with you.
A great afternoon. Thanks for all you do in our community.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to go ahead and stop the